When most NHL fans try to picture the league's heavyweight, it's usually this man, or Muffin Man according to Evander Kane, that comes to mind, as Ryan Reaves has made quite a reputation for himself throughout his career for chopping the mitts. But not only has Reaves mastered the art of fighting, but he's also done his fair share of trolling his opponents while at it. In this video, I'm going to go through some troll moments from the Grim Reaver thus far. And with that, here are the top 7 troll moments from Ryan Reaves. During a regular season meeting against the Wild of last season, Reaves, in the latter half of the first period, decided to make his presence known by blindsiding Minnesota's own Greg Pateryn. Upon witnessing the altercation, Marcus Foligno decided to take up for his teammate and challenge Reaves to a brawl. After winning a quick fight that was obviously one-sided, Reaves decided to taunt the forward from the penalty box by making a crying motion to, rub it in a little. You don't have to be a genius to know that for most guys, Ryan Reaves isn't exactly the guy they want to fight. And it was during the 2017 Stanley Cup playoffs against Nashville that Reaves had a challenge declined. Surprising, I know. But for most, it may be even more surprising to learn that it was heavyweight Cody McLeod who shot this challenge down. Reaves, though, instead of just skating away, made sure to mock the forward by pretending to have trouble getting his gloves off. McLeod could be shown watching the taunt, but still decided to respond by not responding. The postseason, the time of year when new rivalries are born and bad blood seems to boil over between teams. And last year, during the first round between the Vegas Golden Knights and San Jose Sharks, was no different. After Thornton, during Game 3, who was reportedly already incensed over not getting the call that he wanted, took it upon himself to stir things up by introducing his shoulder to Tomas Nosik's head. Following the game, during post-game interviews, Reaves gave his 2 cents on the incident by saying, "I've got a buddy with a grandpa who's going through the same thing. He can't see very well because he's getting old. Needs glasses. If he gets suspended, he's going to have a hard time seeing from the press box." In case you haven't figured it out yet, this guy lives to taunt just as much as he does to fight. And he did just both in the midst of a scrum along the boards during a regular season tilt against the Vancouver Canucks. After things began to escalate between the two teams, Reaves, while standing just outside the skirmish, decided he wanted a piece of power forward Zack Kassian. Following a complimentary slash, Reaves also decided to be even more generous by giving Kassian a hearty knuckle sandwich. And for most players, that would be the end of it. But as far as Reaves was concerned, he was just getting started. While serving his sentence in the penalty box after jawing with Kassian, back and forth, Reaves mocked the forward by pointing out the bruise he left on Kassian's face. So most of us by now know that there's definitely some bad blood between Evander Kane and Ryan Reaves. That was reignited once again during last postseason. And since, it's seemingly been a war of words between both parties, as Reaves and Kane have been routinely taking shots at each other both on and off the ice while using the media as an outlet to indulge their rivalry. And after receiving word that Kane was to serve a 2-game suspension following an incident with an official, Reaves didn't pass up the opportunity to fuel the fire yet again by saying, "Poor Evander, so tragic. He's weak," he says. "He gets taken down by a ref. It happens. Gotta get in the gym, no?" I'm sure Evander really appreciated that, Ryan. Well, it's pretty much a given that fights are bound to happen when games matter the most. When Reaves is involved, it's always one to remember. During the second round of the 2016 Stanley Cup playoffs, after frustration began seeping from the opposing team late in Game 3, Reaves was sent out to do what he does best: fight. And the lucky contestant in this tilt was forward Derek McKenzie. who had an extremely hard time getting a punch in due to his opponent taking him down to the ice in a matter of seconds. And if brutally losing a fight wasn't enough, Reaves decided to throw a little icing on the cake by blowing Mackenzie and his team a kiss while en route to the dressing room. So would that make him a lover or a fighter? Guess I'll let you all be the judge on that one. During the second and final regular season meeting between the two teams, Ryan Reaves took it upon himself to remain in the mind and nightmares of Tom Wilson. The Caps forward is shown being blindsided and instantly incapacitated after skating by Reaves, unsuspecting. The hit sent his helmet and body flying and Reaves to the dressing room. Following the game, during an interview, Reaves gave his reasoning for laying Wilson out. You know, if he sees me, I know he's going to try to lay me out, and I'm not going to let that happen, Reaves says. I thought he was just looking at his pass and ran into a lion in the jungle. In result of the hit, Wilson received a concussion, but to many, this came as retribution for the previous blow the forward dealt on Oskar Sundqvist earlier in the season. And basking in the fact was none other than Reaves himself, as he gladly signed copies of Wilson covering his head after being dazed by the Winnipeg native, and even gave the photos a personal touch while adding his previous comment, "He ran into a lion in the jungle."
Thought he was just looking at his pass and ran into a lion in the jungle.